welcome to the first recorded academic word language. I don't even know what we're calling this. Welcome to vocabulary. All right, we've got the first 10 words in a long list of words that are going to make you good at talking about good stuff with the best words. Notice I didn't really use very specific, precise words. We're going to get better at that today. First 10 words that you guys are going to learn start with analyze. All right? You can get out your word list charts or whatever you're using to keep track of these definitions. Here we go. Analyze. Analyze is to examine or to think about something carefully in order to understand it. You could analyze a word problem to figure out what operation you needed to use to solve it. You could analyze a paragraph to find what the main idea was or what the author was trying to say. And you could also analyze something to understand how it works, like understanding an ecosystem. You could analyze it to see how one food level would affect the other food level. Not bad. Moving on from analyze before I run out of things to say. Approach. When two things get closer to each other, they approach each other. But that's one common way of using it. Another way you'll have to get used to hearing it and saying it is that an approach is a way of doing something. I have kind of an approach to doing vocabulary videos that requires less preparation and sometimes more humor and sometimes takes longer. That's my approach. It's my way of doing something. Also, approach, third way, is that it can be used to mean to go up to someone and ask something of them when you're not really sure if they'll say yes. So for instance, I approached my sister about using her hairbrush, and to my surprise, she said yes, and my hair ended up looking fantastic. So you could say, I approached someone, and everybody kind of understands, once they know this word, that they mean to go up to someone and ask for something when you're not sure if they'll say yes. Area has a couple different ways that we use it in the world. First, we call it like a part of a place. Like, I live in an area that's close to the ocean. So it's part of a place, a city, a country, and we use it to say, like, we live in an area that has seasons. We live in an area that is the furthest northeast corner of the country. But it also could be a subject or a type of activity. You could say, I know a lot about vocabulary. I'm kind of an expert in that area. The way I use it that way is it's a subject or a type of activity. It could also be a measure of flat space. We know that the area of a rectangle is the length times the width. It is the square inches or square feet that take up flat space. That's another third way of using the word area. You should know all three. You should use all three. And when someone else uses all three, you should know what they mean. Next, the word assess. Assess is to make a judgment about a person or a situation after you think carefully about them. It's close to the word analyze. You are thinking carefully about something and making a judgment. So you might assess the value of a diamond if you know anything about diamonds, which I don't. You might be able to look at it and say, oh, its pointy parts and its flat parts are great. I assess this as very valuable. But you could also assess a person and think carefully about them and say, you know what? I'm assessing this. I have assessed this person, and I feel like they understand how to multiply decimals. Or you could make an assessment about someone's character and say, in the end, my assessment was they were probably lying to me. So assess, assessed, assessment, these are all words about making a judgment after thinking carefully. All right, assume. To assume something also has three ways that we typically use it, and it goes from like intro to more advanced. To assume is to think that something's true although you have no proof. All right?
5 minutes.
Okay, we're doing all right. So if someone said to me, hey, nice haircut. Go ahead, someone say that to me.
Nice haircut.
Nice haircut, man.
Oh, I assume you're just saying that because my hair looks ridiculous?
Yes.
You're making fun of me?
Yes, pretty much.
Now, I assumed that, but I didn't know that for sure. In fact, one of you might have actually just been being nice and saying, hey, nice haircut. Oh, good, you were.
That was me.
Yeah. So to assume something is to think something's true even though you have no proof. I assumed you guys were being mean. It turns out you were being nice. It also means to take control or to take power. And this is a way that you might not be used to using this way because we don't use it this way every day. But as you grow up and hear people talk more precisely about big things, to assume control is to take control. All right? When Darth Vader comes back onto the Death Star and they're way behind schedule, and he says, dispense with the pleasantries, Commander. I'm here to get you back on track. He is assuming control of the Death Star. All right? It means to take power or to take on a new role. So assume can mean to take on a new role. It also can mean to start having a new way of looking or acting. And that's really advanced. For instance, if I was going to try and trick someone and maybe rob a bank, I might assume the look of a French person with glasses and a long mustache, and I might assume a French accent, and I might say, hello, I would like to take out a loan from this bank, and then I would try to rob it. So assume could mean to start looking or acting differently. I assumed the look of a very stereotypical French person, and I assumed their accent. And I hope that's not rude to French people, but there it is, I just said it.
Jordan Perry to the office, please.
Hi, Jordan Perry.
You ruined our
That
video.
moment will live on forever.
Thank you.
So 3 ways to understand assume. To think that something's true, even if you have no proof. To take control or power or to take on a new role. Or to start having a new way of looking or acting. Try out all 3 and listen for all 3 because you'll hear them. You want to know what they mean when you hear them. Authority. Great. Authority is the power someone has because of his or her position. So, you might say that I have authority to tell people to quiet down when it's time to quiet down, or to make people stay after school if they are naughty, or if they need extra help. And that is the power I have because of the position I'm in. But it also can mean someone who is respected just because of their knowledge in a certain area. So for instance, someone else in this room might be the authority on Minecraft. They might know so much about Minecraft that we would call them the authority on that subject. All right? So it means someone is respected just because of their knowledge in that area. Ooh, I used the word area from the other vocab word. 2 ways of looking at the word authority. Next. Ooh, how much time do we have? Are we going to beat 10 minutes?
It's cut.
It's going to be close.
It's cut.
Thank you. Available. We use this fairly often. I'm not going to talk about it too much. If something's available, you can have it, buy it, or use it. All right? Oh, that's available. You can buy it now. It's out on DVD. It's in the theaters. It's available. Someone else is available if they're available, if they have free time. Hey, are you available to come see me later? Are you available for the prom? Are you available to date? So other ways of using the word available. Oh my gosh, 1 minute. We're trying to do this in 10 minutes. Benefit is an advantage. It's a good or helpful thing that happens just because of something you have. For instance, if you have a washing machine, a benefit is that you don't have to wash many dishes, except the pots and pans. It could be a benefit because of something you do. Hey, the benefit for going for a run every day is that I have less stress and I feel better. Or it could be a benefit of someone you know. The benefit of having a friend who's a massage therapist means you get free back rubs. All right? Benefit. Couple more words. We're not going to make 10 minutes, but we'll get close. Concept. A concept is a general idea of how something is or how something should be. All right? To understand the concept of a fraction, for instance, 1/4 means 1 out of 4 things. All right? To understand that concept, means to generally understand what it means. There are larger concepts, though. The concept of slavery means the general idea that some people have their rights taken away and are the property and in control of others who are their authority. It is a terrible concept that fortunately in human history is happening less and less. But the concept of something is how it is, what it is, or generally. It could also be a plan. Like, my concept right now for this vocabulary thing is that you'll all have binders and you'll watch videos and you'll write the definitions and you'll all love vocabulary. That's my concept for this right now. And last but not least, consistent. The word consistent is an adjective. It describes an event that happens in a similar way every time. All right, so the rain in the mountains is consistent. There's a consistent rainstorm that you can almost count on every afternoon in the summer. It also could describe a person who acts the same way every time. So you could have a free throw shooter in basketball who's very consistent. What does that mean? It means you can count on them for making their shots. Or I guess you could be a consistent bad free throw shooter, which is what I was. 1 for 16 my sophomore year.
Same.
Also, you could be acting in a similar way, especially to be fair or accurate. An umpire would be a consistent person. He would try to act in a consistent way, consistently calling balls and strikes the same way to be fair. And I think that's it. Yes, we did it. All right. I hope you enjoyed that. Please feel free to pause and go back and write down definitions. Thank you for watching.